Okay, and introduce yourself, please.
Hi there, my name's Scott Calonico.
And
Sorry.
and what film do you have here today?
My film's called You Can't Always Get What You Want.
Now, is this the big premiere of the movie?
This was the first time I'd seen it projected though, so that was pretty cool.
Now, your film is about LBJ phone calls. How did you get interested in listening to his phone calls?
Well, these are all kind of online. There's an organization called the Miller History for Public Affairs, I think, Miller Center for American History thing, and they have all the president's phone calls online. They're all online now. You can just go and download and listen to them, and so it was just kind of interesting, and just started listening away, and that was about it.
Now, previously you'd done a short about LBJ ordering pants, correct?
Yes.
Now, why didn't you include that as part of this, is to make it bigger, or?
I guess I could have. At one point, that thought was going through my head about all these phone calls. You know, these were actually, I kind of put together a found footage documentary a few years ago, that didn't do very well, but I had these phone calls in it, and then I kind of, instead of just throwing the whole thing away, I kind of pulled out the phone calls and packaged those together, and then the thought came to me where, yeah, I could probably get away with putting together something like this.
Now, when you're working in public domain stuff like this do you always have a fear that somebody's going to come along and basically redo your entire documentary?
I mean, I guess that's always the problem that you're going to have. Like, I have a friend, my producer, is working on this. He's about to finish a documentary about Doc Ellis, the baseball player, he's been working on it for 10 years, and it's like, yeah, does that thought ever occur to him that somebody else is going to come along and make the same thing? So yeah, I mean, that thought's always there. It's kind of a matter of getting out of the gate first.
Now, has he got any more footage than just Doc talking about the day he threw the baseball
on
LSD?
It's a lot more than just him talking about LSD. I mean, he was actually kind of a groundbreaking figure. So kind of racial. He was all about racial equality and breaking the boundaries. So yeah, he was an interesting guy that you learn a lot about.
So there won't be anything about Fergie Jenkins and the rest of the Red Sox players smoking dope?
There might be a little bit of stuff about that, but he uncovered, a lot of people are saying he made up the LSD story, but they kind of discovered some documents that were where he was talking about it back in the 70s, so it'll be interesting.
Now, you animated pictures of LBJ to help illustrate the thing. How long did it take to search out photos that you felt fit the moments that he's talking about?
Oh yeah, actually not that long. The LBJ library, they've been doing this for a long time. They do really good job of putting up photos on their website. They actually have like super high def photos. They have like a couple of those were about 20 megs in size. They were like 4,000 by 4,000. So not that long.
And all that stuff's in the public domain.
Yeah, those are all public. That's the best part. Those are all public domain pictures.
Now, is it fun? Because when you wrote me, you originally said, this is a documentary that cost me nothing to make. Mm-hmm. Is it a good feeling though to have a short film where you're not complaining about the budget?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. This is actually kind of like the first film I had show at Sundance. I think I spent $50 on, maybe. I mean, it's always kind of, it makes you feel good when you can do something on a budget like that and then come up and...
Now, what format did you show it at Sundance on, or output it to, I should say?
This was about 10 years ago, so I was putting it on Digibeta, I think. That was all standard def stuff.
And this tonight's in HD, correct?
Yeah, but that wasn't at Sundance. This is I just finished this. This is kind of the first for real screening, I call it, because I made a couple corrections to it from the previous screenings. So the thing about Super Real, I just found out from the LBJ library archivists, and they clued me into that.
So they liked what you did.
Yeah, they did. They're actually they showed it at their staff meeting. So yeah, that was pretty cool. They're really happy, I think, about having somebody.
So you won't be on a watch list on the Texas border?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think they're good with me.
And now, will you ever do? Is this going to be the last of your LBJ, or will there be a third one for the trilogy?
What I'm doing now is I'm going to do this JFK phone call, where I track down. JFK is basically bitching about furniture in this one phone call, and I track down the guy that he's bitching about, who's still alive and lives in Tampa. And I'm actually going to interview him next week.
Wow. And does he have the furniture stuff?
I don't know if he remembered. I didn't know if it was the right guy, and I found him on LinkedIn, and then he, out of the blue, just sent me, oh yeah, here, I used to work at that Air Force base, here's some pictures. And he sent me 10 pictures of Kennedy getting off Marine One, the helicopter. So I was like, oh, this is the right guy.
And that's always great to have your subject immediately providing you with visual information.
And he doesn't either he doesn't remember the phone call, or it was... because we didn't really talk about it, and it's kind of a famous phone. I mean, it's famous to me, because he was in the post when it happened. So.
And he's on the other end of the phone, right?
No, it's kind of, I don't know, complicated. It's basically this, when Jackie was pregnant, she was going to have her baby at an Air Force base. And so what the Air Force did is they went out of the way and said, oh, well, we'll put some nice furniture in here for you. And they went out and they spent $5,000 on furniture, which in today's money is $50,000. And so a PR guy from the Air Force, opened the suite up and let all these reporters in, right? And they had pictures of him standing next to the bed, smiling. And that picture wound up in the Post. And Kennedy is calling a general in the Air Force, looking at this picture, bitching about this guy standing by the bed. He's calling him the silly bastard next to the bed.
Now, will you be filming him as he hears the recording?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Always good. So, and is there anything else you're going to be doing? Or
that's it. I'm actually working on a feature length about the worst poet in the world, a gentleman by the name of William McGonagall, who is from Dundee, the town I was living in, and he's actually kind of famous for being so bad, just a horribly, horribly bad poet. And one of his poems is going on auction at the beginning of next month, and the starting bid, just one original poem of his, is going on for a starting bid of £3,000, which is about it's about $5,000.
That's almost as much as a New Yorker poem, isn't it?
Yep.
Is he still alive or dead?
He died in 1902.
So he's earned that worst poet thing, 100 years plus, and
He is generally, actually, if you Google worst poet, he's the one that comes up.
So it's an earned honor. It's not just one of those instant classic things.
He's known to be a bad poet for a long time.
How's your experience at Full Frame been?
Oh, it's been great. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to eat lots of food, have some beers, meet some cool people. It was a great screening, so I'm happy.
And your trip from Cary?
Actually, it was kind of eventful because yesterday was, when people ask me what Scotland's like, I say yesterday. That was what Scotland's like. And so I took the train here. And first of all, the train was an hour late. Normally it takes 20 minutes to get here. First of all, the train was an hour late, and there was a tree on the train tracks, so we had to stop for another hour. So it took me 2.5 hours to go 19 miles yesterday.
Wow. I didn't even know you could take the train from Cary to here.
Yep.
Now I know, and now I'm not going to try
it for a while. Normally it works. It's $5. Yeah. Normally it works. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for people who want to just take the train over.
Yeah.
So that's good. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, guys.